event.
Tonight's food is sponsored by our leader, Leland Nishman's father. Guys, come get food.
It's in the middle of the workday, 6:30.
This time maybe some ketchup.
One of our most lavish
No, sponsored by Alex Science.
One representative.
Are you not eating?
You're still asking that question.
All right, we're gonna start Chazar. To continue eating. Don't hesitate. We're up to my time at Reb Eliezer. What is the reason for Reb Eliezer that he says that you have to stay in the same sukkah all 7 days? Because, says the Gemara, Amar Kol, the pasuk says, Chag HaSukkos Taseh L'cho Shivas Yomim. You should make for yourself the Yom Tov of Sukkos 7 days. So they make a drasha, Asay Sukkah Ru'i L'Shiva, make a sukkah that's fit to live in for 7 full days. That's where you should be, in the sukkah for 7 complete days. For Rabbanan, what did Rabbanan do with this? This is what the Torah is telling you. Asay Sukkah B'Chag, just make a sukkah on the Yom Tov. Doesn't mean you have to be in the same sukkah. It could be a bunch of different sukkahs. Just make a sukkah on Yom Tov. Then the Gemara quotes the Brisa, V'shavin Shem Nafla. Everyone agrees that if it fell, Shechayzer Ubaynus Abachel Shamayim, that you can go ahead and rebuild it on Chol HaMoed. Gemara says, Pshito, why not? Just it broke, who cares? Of course it's good according to everyone. Ma'adatema, you might have thought, Hayachrisihi, could be, this is already a different sukkah. V'enyo L'Shuv, it's not a sukkah that's a 7-day sukkah, because it broke in between. Kamashma, no, even Rebbe Eliezer would say, that's the same sukkah in your Yetzah. Tanya says in the Brisa, Rebbe Eliezer says, Kishem she'ein adim Yetzeh, Yidei Chavaseh. The same way a person is not Yetzeh his Chiyav. B'yom Tov Rishon Shel Chag, on the first day of Sukkot, B'lulav Shel Chaver, with the lulav of his friend, his Arba Minim. T'chsiv, because it says in the pasuk, Ulakachtam Lechem B'yom Rishon, you should take for yourself on the first day of Yom Tov. Creates Hadar, an Esrog, Kapis Tamar, Malulav, and we learn up Mishalachem. It says Ulakachtam Lechem, you have to take your own lulav and Esrog, your own Arba Minim. Has to be yours. So the same way we have a concept of owning, Kach, so too, Ein Adam Yetzeh Yidei Chavaseh B'Sukkah Shel Chaver. You're not Yetzeh your mitzvah sukkah with your friend's sukkah. T'chsiv, it says in the pasuk, Chag HaSukkos Taseh L'cho Shivas Yomim. Mishalach has to be your sukkah for 7 days, not somebody else's sukkah. The Chachamim say, Alpha Pisha Amru, Ein Adam Yetzeh Yidei Chavaseh B'Yom Tov Rishon Shabu Lulav Shel Chaver. Even though you cannot be Yetzeh the first day of Yom Tov with your friend's lulav, that's Arba Minim. You are Yetzeh your chiv in the sukkah of your friend. Because it says in the pasuk, Kol ha'ezrach b'Yisrael yeshu b'sukkos. All natives of Yisrael should live in sukkahs. And we're going out from here. Melamed teaches us Shekol Yisrael ru'yim leisha b'sukkah achas. Everyone is right to sit in one sukkah. I want to just zero in on this. I didn't explain this so well. This idea. We mentioned you have to own the sukkah. But let's say me and Ari own the sukkah together. That's fine. That's fine. Even if a few people. But it says Kol Ezach b'Yisrael. If every person in Klal Yisrael owned it, everyone's going to own less than the Shava Pruta. That's not called ownership. So if you see God's Klal Yisrael could technically be in one sukkah, you see you don't have to own the sukkah because nobody has a Shava Pruta. Even if we all got together in a sukkah, we could all own a Shava Pruta, but not God's Klal Yisrael. So this is a raya. They don't have to own the sukkah. So the Gemara says, what do the Rabbanan do with the lacha? They needed lemute gzula. Yeah, stolen materials. You can't use a sukkah gzula. Alvul shula, but a borrowed sukkah? Ksiv, kol ezrach. The ribu of kol ezrach is including to you the borrowed sukkah. The lacha is telling you it can't be stolen. Rebbe Eliezer, hi kol ezrach. What does Eliezer do with the drasha of kol ezrach? Sounds like Gans Klal Yisrael could be in the one sukkah. He needs it for a different drasha. Legir shenizgayer benetayim, the katan shenizgadol benetayim. Back to the old sugya. We spoke about Rebbe Eliezer shita l'shitasei. You need to be the same sukkah for all 7 days. But let's say a guy only became bar mitzvah during sukkahs, or let's say a guy became a ger on sukkahs. So is he still yaitz even though only half of sukkahs he's in the sukkah? Yeah, because he's only a bar chiyav. The kol ezach b'Yisrael means anybody that's chayv right now. So even if you weren't chayv before, you could still get the last couple of days your yeshiva sukkah. For Rabbanan, where the Rabbanan know this concept? For a bar mitzvah boy or a ger? No, the Rabbanan back to l'shitasa with the old sugya. Kivin shamru eisen sukkah b'chel shalmayid. Since they say you're allowed to make a sukkah on chol hamoed, you're allowed to even if you didn't sit in the sukkah the first days of Yom Tov, you can make a sukkah in the middle of Yom Tov and be Yaitz the last days. There's no Indian to have the 7-day sukkah. Well, it's the I don't need a pasuk. It's obvious if a boy became bar mitzvah, so today is a mitzvah sukkah. You don't need a 7-day sukkah. If I this is what we're up to now, by the way, if you want to join, we're right now, so you'll be good now. Yeah, what?
What's the chiddush in Rabbi Eliezer of a gear and a katan? Like, we all know in Shita that you can't sit on another sukkah. The bottom line is they were up there, they weren't in another sukkah.
At the end of the day, it's one big mitzvah. It's like Sfir Saimer. It's a big machlokes Rishonim. Is Sfir Saimer one big mitzvah, or every day is its own mitzvah? So there's a whole huge pilpul. If someone's bar mitzvah on Sfir Saimer in the middle, should he start counting with a bracha? Could he say? There's like a whole thing about a bar mitzvah boy. Because if something's one big mitzvah and he's only bar mitzvah in the middle, he lost it. It's like he's like bar mitzvah after sukkahs.
So the stamp sheet of Rabbi Eliezer is if let's say you did not sleep in let's say you did not eat in the sukkah the first day, the second, whatever. You always jump in. You just can't go into a different sukkah.
No, you can't jump in either. You have to be in there starting the full 7 days.
And you miss out the first.
Even if you miss a meal, it means you didn't eat the meal, not to eat in a different sukkah. You punked fasted the first night. Oh, if you mashal masuda. But you can't live in any other sukkah. You have to be in the same sukkah all 7 days. This is what we're up to right now. Starting the Gemara here. Very negeh to Shevavim. Very negeh. Shmuel, you're gonna like this Gemara because we spoke about this once before. Very negeh to Shevavim. Geshmak Gemara's story. We're not going to learn that much today. Very little. Very interesting. Says the Gemara, Tanu Rabbanu. Yes, it's negeh to today's daf. That's not why I'm saying it's negeh to you. Different reason. I'll tell you. You'll see in a second. Tanu Rabbanan. The Rabbanan taught. Okay, Tanu Rabbanan means the Rabbanan taught. This is a brisa. Maisa. Oh, a Maisa. Everybody, who doesn't like a Maisa, right? Maisa story. Bereb Eloi, with somebody named Reb Eloi. Shaholach lahakbil pnei Reb Eliezer Rabbi Belod Beregel. A story with Reb Eloi. He was a Tana, by the way. He's a Tana. That he went Shaholach lahakbil pnei. Kabbalah's Pnei. You know, like when there was a Rebbe that came to Manchester. What was his name? The Kuzmir Rebbe, I think? Kuzmir. So it's Kabbalah's Pnei. What's Kabbalah's Panim? Maybe it's like going to greet him. Like I'm going to meet him. Kabbalah's Panim means it's not a two-way relationship. It means I'm going to accept his face. That's like a literal translation. I'm going to see the Rebbe. It's not like I'm just going to meet you, has everything. That's not Kabbalah's Panim. Kabbalah's Panim means go to see the Rebbe, to accept his face, to see him, to really, to take it all in. So Reb Eloi went to be Kabbalah's Pnei Reb Eliezer Rabbi. His Rebbe, this Reb Eliezer we've been talking about till now, Reb Eliezer Hyrcanus, Reb Eliezer the famous Tana, Reb Eloi was his Talmud, and Reb Eloi went to go do Kabbalah's Panim to see him. Bilud, we'll talk about Lud in a second. It was a city called Lud. I don't know which is the airport, the Lud airport. I don't know, is that where Lud is officially? The city of Lud Airport? Yeah. I don't know where Lud was back then. Beregel on Sukkot. It was a regel. I don't know if it was Sukkot. I take it back. It was on a regel. I don't know if it was Sukkot. Reb Eloi went to go visit his Rebbe on Sukkot to visit Reb Eliezer. Now he didn't travel on Sukkot. He went Erev Yom Tov. So he went Erev Sukkot or Erev Pesach or Erev Shavuos to be there on the regel itself, the first day of Yom Tov. This is something called Kabbalah's Pnei Rabbi, and we'll talk a little bit more about it soon. This was the story. What was he doing in Lud? Why is Rebbe Eliezer in Lud? Rebbe Eliezer, fascinating Tana. We just had it till now. He's a powerhouse of a Tana. Rebbe Eliezer is all over the place in general. But one of the most famous things about him, after all said and done, he was put into Cherem. Okay, he was excommunicated. And just a quick reason why he was excommunicated is because there was a huge machlokes in the Beis Medrash about a certain oven, if it could be Makabel Toma or not be Makabel Toma. And Rebbe Eliezer said, I'm telling you I'm right. And everybody else, all the Chachamim, the Tzibur, the Roiv, he was not the Roiv, he was the Yachid here, the Roiv said he's wrong. And Rebbe Eliezer says, I'm telling you I'm right. They said, you're wrong. Rebbe Eliezer says, if I'm right, I forgot all the miracles, but like the trees should start shaking, I don't know, or the walls should start caving into the Beis Medrash. What was it? Crazy miracles. And every miracle happened. Every miracle he said happened. Then they said, we don't care. He said, you know what? If I'm right, Hashem should say in Shemayim that I'm right. A Baskol came out and said, Rebbe Eliezer's right. And still, the Chazal said, Ter Lev Shemayni, very famous Gemara. The halacha is we don't go like you. And they put him in Cherem. He went to Lud. He wasn't in Lud till now. He went to Lud. He opened up a basin in Lud. I don't know how it works. I'm not a baki in Hilchos Cherem. It's a whole simon Shulchan Aruch. You go look at it. There's all these rules and Gemaras. We had them. I just don't know the applications exactly. Can't be the Dalramis. What? No, Baruch Hashem, not yet. Not yet. So there are rules of how you could do it. But he had a basin in Lud, and Rebbe Loyu, as his Talmud, went to go greet him in this place. Okay? That's where his yeshiva was. Listen to this. Amar Loi, he's doing a nice thing, right? Kabbalah's B'nai Rabbi. Amar Loi, Rebbe Eliezer said to him, Eloi, Eincha mishoivsei haregel. You're not from the people, shoivsei means like Shabbos, who rest on the regel. You're not resting properly on Yom Tov. You're not Shabbos. Shabbos is you're not like Shemer Shabbos. You're not watching the rest. You're not. Why? Why you're not supposed to do this on Yom Tov? What's the reason? Shahaya Reb Eliezer Aimer, because Reb Eliezer used to say, this is something he was very frequent saying. Mishabech ani, I praise Esho Atzlon and the lazy ones. I praise the lazy ones. She'en yotzim mibatein beregel, that they don't leave their houses on Yom Tov. Tichsiv, because it says in the pasuk, v'samachta ata uvesacha. You should be rejoiced, you and your household, you, your wife, your kids. You should be besimcha at home. Rabbi Eliezer told him, you know where you're supposed to be in Yom Tov? You should be at home with your wife and kids. Why did you come to see me? That's not a proper Yom Tov. Real Simchas Yom Tov is with your wife and your kids. I praise people that are what does it mean I praise people that are lazy? A lot of lazy people never leave their homes. So he was saying this is the one time I praise them. It's good to be lazy on Yom Tov, right? In general, it's not good to be lazy. It's good to get out, do things, come to Beis Medrash, I don't know, go to work. Don't be lazy. But the one time it's good to be lazy is Yom Tov. What do I do on Yom Tov? I'm very lazy. I was just talking to a guy about a wedding last night. He says, I don't know why you're talking about this. He's like, Purim, I stay home. I don't go anywhere. I'm just lazy. It's my thing. I stay home. So I praise that guy. I don't know about Purim. I praise that guy on the regel that he doesn't go anywhere. He doesn't go to his Rebbe, doesn't go to the Tish. He's not running places. You go to the Tish, you can come back. What? Like midwinter. Oh. Mishabech ani without Slonim, I guess. I don't want to say that. Who don't go places.
If he was his Talmud, he should know this, no?
I hear. It's a good point. I don't know why he didn't know it. Because Rebbe Eliezer was frequently saying this. It's like his line. I agree with you. So Shmuel David, we always spoke about that, about being at home, people go places, whatever. On Yom Tov, different. Maybe Rosh Hashanah could be different. I don't know if it's a regal. Yeah. There's a big discussion about Rosh Hashanah. It's a quasi. It has some, but not 100%. The Sudas, yeah. So this is what Rebbe Eloi did, and Rebbe Eliezer said it's not the right way to. Simcha is atu v'secha, you and your household. The Gemara is a question. Eini, is it so? Is it so that a person should not go visit his Rebbe on Yom Tov? Is it so? V'amar Reb Yitzchak said, Reb Yitzchak's an Amayra. Interestingly, okay? This question is from an Amayra. Reb Yitzchak says, Minayin, from where do you know? Shechayiv adam lahakbil pnei Rabbi beregel. A person is mechuyev to go greet his Rebbe on the regel. You're mechuyev to go do Kabbalah's pnei Rabbi on the regel. Where do you know from? Shenemar, it says in the pasuk. I'll give you the background after I tell the pasuk. Madua, why is a pasuk in Malachim? Madua, why at you? Because it's a man talking to a lady. It's at. Madua, you. Why do you holeches? Why do you go a love to him? Hayom today. Lechodesh v'leShabbos. It's not Rosh Chodesh and it's not Shabbos. Quick background on this pasuk. Elisha used to stay by a very hush of a lady. She was in a city called Shunem. She was called the Isha Hashunamas. And she was a major machnas ereach. She had guests, and one of the guests she had was Elisha. And Elisha she made a little apartment for him. And Elisha was a lot of akar satayv. And Elisha said, "Is there anything I can repay you back for this achnasas archim?" And with his gechazi yeshamish, they figured out the thing that she needed. She had no children. She said, "A child." So she actually didn't ask for it. They offered it to her. She didn't even ask because she said, "Don't give me a child if you're not going to make it stay alive, whatever." So Elisha said, "You're going to have a child next year." Okay, it's one of the Torahs with there. And she had a child, and the child grew up, and the child had a headache, and he said, "Reishi, Reishi, my head," and he died. The kid died. Pashtus. It's a little bit of discussion if he died or, but most people say he died. And she ran. She didn't want to tell her husband. She didn't want to tell her husband is because when things are more public, you can't have a nace happen. The more things are public, more people know about things. Hashem doesn't do nisim as openly. The more it's private, nisim happen. So she said to her husband, "Could you go get me a donkey and a servant? I want to go visit Elisha, my Rebbe." He was a Rebbe. He was like the Gadol Hadar. So he said to her, "Madua at hayleches? Why are you going Ayyin today? Lo chodesh v'lo Shabbos. It's not Rosh Chodesh and it's not Shabbos." So you see from here that they used to go visit the Rebbe on Rosh Chodesh and on Shabbos. That's why he was asking, "Why are you going today? It's not Rosh Chodesh and not Shabbos." What do you see from here? That there's in Yonim is a chiyuv to go Rosh Chodesh and Shabbos. If there's somewhat of an Indian to go then, for sure Yom Tov, a regal, for sure the regal you should go. If Rosh Chodesh, which is 12 months a year, 12 times, and Shabbos, which is a lot of times a year, for sure the Yom Tov, a regal. So you see from here that this is what you're supposed to do. You're mechuyev to go visit your Rebbe on a regal.
Maybe only women are supposed to.
Yeah, but she's asking good, not chiyuv.
Oh, so it's a lot of questions with this Gemara. First of all, he starts off, you're mechuyev to go on the regal, and then the riots from Chodesh and Shabbos. First of all, either talk about Chodesh or Shabbos, and but the easy pshat is that even if he's like saying to her, it's not even a Chodesh or Shabbos, which is like somewhat of an Indian, but for sure the regal is like a major Indian. The regal is a major Indian. The regal is the time that's a chiyuv to go.
Maybe that's like asking from Yitzchak, because he's not asking from himself. Gemara is asking from us.
Right, that's I think the answer is. You don't usually ask on a Tana from a Gemara. The Teretz is the Gemara is just saying, I see it from a very clear pasuk. There's no question about this. So that you could ask on the Tana. That's what you're saying. Yeah, I think so.
What was the end of the story?
So the end of the story is that Elisha brought him to life. He did mouth to mouth. He put his body on the baby and breathed in, and I think he did it a few times, and the baby was warmed up and came back alive. Yeah. So what's the raya? Back to the Gemara. He said, the husband said to the wife, "Why are you going today to him? It's not Chodesh, it's not Shabbos." Here comes the raya. Mechlal. What could you figure? You could make a diak. You could infer from here. That on Rosh Chodesh and Shabbos, a person is mechuyev to be mekabel the face of his Rebbe. I know it says Chodesh and Shabbos. It's a little bit of a problem. It says chiyuv, but they say that it's not the main chiyuv is regal, not Chodesh and Shabbos. But there are other pshatim to this. Could be there is a shtickle chiyuv. That's a little bit of a problem in this Gemara. We're going to leave it as a little bit of a question. The reason it says mechuyev to go Rosh Chodesh and Shabbos, but the main thing is about the regal. So the question is, how could Rebbe Eliezer say, "Don't go to your Rebbe on the regal"? Rebbe Yitzchak says you're mechuyev to go. You see it right from a pasuk. The Gemara answers, and we'll stop here. Loi kasha. It's not a problem. Ha, Rebbe Yitzchak, the first ha is Rebbe Yitzchak. The azal v'asib b'yomei. The azal is going to go, v'asib b'yomei, and come back on the day. You let it go during the day to your Rebbe, as long as you come home for the Suda or be home with your wife and your kids. That's okay. Ha, the other one, Rebbe Eliezer, is the azal v'lo asib b'yomei. Rebbe Eliezer is saying a guy wants to go to Uman for Sukkot, he's going to go and not come back. Not come back on that day. If he's going to Uman on Sukkot or Shavuos or something like that, that is a problem. But if you're going just for the day, that's fine. So that's why there's no stira between what Rebbe Eliezer said and what Rebbe Yitzchak said. Rebbe Eliezer says you should never leave for the night, never go away for a whole day from your wife on Yom Tov. And Rebbe Yitzchak says you're mechuyev to go, just not be overnight. You should come back, have the Suda, spend time with your wife and your kids. Stop over here. It's a different discussion now for now. Do we have this chiyuv nowadays to be Kabbalah's Pnei Rabbi on Yom Tov? Should you make sure to go to your Rebbe? It is a discussion. Some say the chiyuv still applies nowadays, while others, the most famous, the Noda B'Yehuda held, it does not apply anymore.
Why would it change?
Because it has a lot to do with